Hey guys, my name is RGB. If you're new to the server, welcome. If you're already a regular, welcome home. A little while ago, I made a video where I tried to imitate my favorite art styles. I had a ton of fun and you guys seem to enjoy the video a lot, so today I decided to pick a few more artists I particularly like and try my hand at their art styles. This time, I was a bit less ambitious, so I picked fewer artists to try and replicate their styles. I also didn't screen record opposite to the last time because I wanted to take it easy and not feel as rushed to get things done fast. So without further ado, let's get right into the drawings. First up is Marikyuun. Mari is an artist I've admired for a long time. Not only because her content is pretty entertaining, but because her art style has always been inspiring to me as someone who really loves cutesy looking art. The most striking aspect of her art is definitely the line art, which was the thing I was the most worried about. I'm not very good with clean line art, but following her motto of thick lines on the outside and thin lines on the inside, I'm sorry, I just really had to say it, I actually struggled less than I expected. I took inspiration from many pieces of hers to try and guess how she would draw Naili in her art style. The eyes specifically took me a lot of searching since the characters she usually draws have round and soft features, opposite to Naili who's all sharp and intimidating. Coloring wise, I noticed Mari can vary on the amount of shading and lightning shapes she uses, so I took a specific drawing of the triple baka she has pinned on her Twitter page and tried to replicate the shading she did there. Overall, it's definitely not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with the result, especially being someone who really dreads such clean line art like hers. Also, a fun fact, the format I use for my YouTube shorts are hugely inspired by the ones she does herself, so props to her for inspiring me to post YouTube shorts because I hate doing those. I felt like everything came together once I colored the line art. For final considerations, I do think I could have done better with the pose, as the left arm looks a little off on the way it's bent and the hand itself could use a bit more work. But in the end, I managed to enjoy not only the process, but I'm also very proud of the result itself. If you guys have any feedback on the pieces I've drawn in this video, I'd love to listen to it. Speaking of cute styles, I believe that from this entire lineup, Emirichu is definitely one of the cutest. Although I don't think I did an incredible job at replicating her art, I still had a lot of fun trying to translate Naili into Emily's soft shoujo-like style. Because her characters are always very jovial, cute, and round, in my attempt, Naili looks almost like a child. For references, I mostly looked through her Instagram, and similarly to Mari's, I made a little Frankenstein of information when drawing. Her line art is pretty clean, and it kills me that I need to constantly make clean lines during this video, but oh well. The hair wasn't as detailed as I was expecting, and I couldn't find any reference for how she would draw braids, so I guessed my way out of everything in this process. For the eyes, I replicated the ones she did for her free rein illustration, as I believe the hard cold stare would suit them perfectly. Clothing-wise, a fact that I noticed when studying her artwork is that Emily doesn't draw that many folds on clothes, so it also helped me a little as I'm not someone so good at making folds. When it comes to coloring, she didn't have many fully rendered pieces on her Instagram, so I ended up doing cell shading for everything. Emirichu's story times videos are very soothing to watch, and lately I've been spending a lot of time watching Spilding, where she and Daidos post really entertaining art-related content. It inspires me to try other mediums of art aside from digital, so maybe I can get her courage to branch out more in the future. Do let me know if you guys would like to see me try traditional art. I could try and finish a sketchbook for once. It's been a few years. I think everyone gets unmotivated to draw from time to time, but watching Spilding videos really make me want to draw, and it sparks that childhood joy when we think about drawing like our favorite artists. I had once when I was younger. Okay, this took a really dark turn, I think. Kinda gloomy. Ooh. And the next one, is probably the one I'm the least happy with, but mostly because I really didn't know what to do with the shading. The Introverted Cartoonist is a YouTuber I found recently due to her Yandere Simulator related videos. And I really gotta say that I love to listen to her videos when working on drawings. Her voice is really soothing and she has some really fun stories. When looking through her Instagram to gather some information about her art style, I found out she actually has two different art styles, which is the one she usually uses for the YouTube videos themselves, with a simplified round face, and a more detailed style she seems to use for commissions and general fan art. Since the round face style is the most striking to me personally, I decided to try my hand at that one. The simplicity of the art is very suitable for long story time videos like hers, and so I had an easier time trying to translate Naili into her style. Her OhNoSODA has really sharp, angled eyes, so I mostly just replicated that for Naili's eyes. One specific thing I like about her art is how well she draws hands. Her character sprites and general art are very expressive hand-wise, which is something most artists struggle with, as everyone may know. So it's a feature of her work that I really appreciate. So I attempted to display hands in this piece more than on the previous one we've seen so far, and on the next ones we're going to see in a little bit. Like I said before, I'm not so happy with the shading, so let's also look at the drawing without it, so I can feel a little better about myself. Next up is, in my opinion, one of the biggest and most iconic storytime YouTubers, Jaiden Animations. Her content is extremely inspiring to me, not only because I love watching her videos, but because she's an extremely charismatic individual. I'm not one that watches story times all the time. I usually go here and there from different content creators, but I've watched every single video from Jaiden. And the art style used in them has become something really captivating to me, as much as it isn't a style I'd usually draw in, because I like having a bit more detailed stuff in my artwork. I believe the style used in her videos is clean, readable, and instantly recognizable, which helps with the animation and consistency aspect of her channel. None of the videos are shaded and they make use of very few colors, most of them having a monochromatic color palette. And the skin of the characters is almost always white. Usually most storytime animators have that kind of aesthetic. For Naili, as the faces are so simple, there really wasn't much information I could customize, or it would stray too far away from the channel's art style. I tried to keep everything pretty simple, big shapes with little information, no shading, and no clothing folds. Because the style is so simple, I ended up drawing a full body so the time lapse wouldn't be too short and I could fit everything I had to say in the drawing's time. Final considerations: I do think that the line art itself has too much pen pressure, and the actual line art you see in the videos is definitely more consistent because of animation needs, but I only noticed that once I was too far into the process and had already struggled for ages with this no texture flat brush. Can you guys ever forgive me? Next we have this one artist that is really great, and honestly, I like to say Pikat is like the full package, being both a programmer and an artist. There's an insane amount of skill in their artwork, and it's one of the reasons I was so intimidated to try and make something crappy and say I attempted to draw in their style, because it clearly doesn't even scratch the surface of the insane amount of range they have. Pikat slays when it comes to fundamentals, and that is really shown in all of their art, with the poses, anatomy in general, and in the cross-hatching shading thing they have been doing in their most recent Twitter artwork. Those pieces are black and white drawings of Pokemon characters, and because this artist is just so insane and can draw in so many different ways, I picked this specific style they have been doing to try and make it seem easier to me, only to notice that I'm so bad at this. Why am I even trying? The line art is not the cleanest, but it's clearly free and made with intent. As I overanalyzed even the shaky lines in those specific pieces of artwork, I noticed that I just didn't really understand why they were there. Everything seemed to be made with intent, to show shading and form, to portray texture or enhance the drawing's motion. But I noticed that I'm just not skilled enough to problem solve where to put those lines yet. And that made me really frustrated because the gap between what I want to do and what I can do seemed really jarring when I looked so intently at their artwork and tried to replicate something similar. That's honestly such a good feeling, even if you don't think so, because now I'm going to marathon all of their videos again to practice my fundamentals, so someday I can try to do this again and make something worthy, so I can say this was actually truly inspired by them. I could stay here and explain for hours the different aspects of their artwork where I really struggled with, and remembering that this is a black and white piece, I didn't even attempt to color at all. But this video would be way too long, and I don't think anyone wants to listen to me ranting about the aspects of art where I need to improve. Either ways, as much as my art is not that similar to theirs at all, at least this exercise helped me getting pumped to improve my skills. And if you watched up to this point, I'd like you to know that I'm so thankful to my current patrons, OhNoSODA, Maera, and EliWasHere. Thank you so much for pledging $10 over on Patreon. From now on, I'll be posting regularly and as I abolished all social media. All my normal artwork, such as videos, finished pieces, sneak peeks, and fan art in general will be exclusive there. So if you want to get a shout out at the end of my videos and see exclusive content, I see you there.